So hello everybody, how are you doing? You've already seen it from the outside. This is the first time that we are able to test the new Golf GTI Edition 45. I'm not even sure if it's called GTI Edition 45 or GTI Clubsport Edition 5. Nevertheless, it's more or less based on the Clubsport. That means 300 HP, but on top of that it has different wheels, it has an Akrapovic exhaust, it has the unlimitation up to 270 kilometers per hour, which we of course want to test also later on the Autobahn. And yeah, some other goodies inside. I think the difference is not as big to the normal Clubsport, but overall I would say the first appearance, the wheels, the stickers outside, the black roof, I'm not even sure if there's any more, but at least the car feels special, more special than the regular Clubsport does, specifically in this King's Red exterior paint. I can only recommend it to you. It does not look as good on photos, but in real life, boy, I mean, that is a reflection in that paint. Really good. I would probably spec the car exactly like it is here. Really like it. Nevertheless, without further talking, of course we have the drift box with us. We will do a short 0 to 100 launch control test on the country road, and later on we'll go on the Autobahn to test 100 to 200 as well as the top speed, because as you know, it should be able to reach 270 kilometers GPS speed, which is even more on speedo, and I'm really looking forward to that. So without further talking, I have put the car into sport. We have put the traction control into this sport mode, which means that we can engage the launch control as usual, and we will head out and do our first try. First try was 5.5 seconds. I think that was even quicker than the quickest time we did so far with the GTI Clubsport. I'm not really sure. Maybe you can write it in the comments if we reach that speed with the regular one. I don't think that there's a technical difference. I think it's mainly due to the better conditions outside and the grippier asphalt right now. But nevertheless, I think that's a pretty good time for a front-wheel drive car, which of course has struggled putting all that 300 HP and 400 Newton meters down. Nice pops and bangs from the back, and corners are also possible. Grip is simply immense for a front-wheel drive car. So let's now see how fast the Edition 45 goes 100 to 200. So that's 11.6 second, even 0.2% uphill, 11.6. I think that's a pretty reasonable time. I think that's about 7/10 slower than a Golf R, which makes sense because it got less power. Pretty good, I would say. So into this wonderful evening light, let's see the top speed of this car onto a free piece of Autobahn, which is just ahead of us. Yes guys, you have seen it. The numbers are pretty good, honestly. First of all, 0 to 100 we had, I think it was a 5.5 or even a bit better. I think that's pretty reasonable also for 300 HP, but as said, no different expected there to a regular GTI Clubsport. Secondly, we have done an 11.6 if I'm not mistaken, 11.6 100 to 200, which is, I'm not sure if it's the fastest time that we ever did in a Clubsport. Maybe you're better informed than I, but at least it makes sense in comparison to the Golf R, because that's about half a second, 7/10 slower than we tested the Golf R. So that is also a very good number considering the car has the rear wing, considering that it only has 300 HP and less power than the Golf R. And you have also seen it on the Autobahn. Top speed 280 is something that we could reach at least on Speedo, which is more or less exactly 270 on GPS. That also means it's definitely quicker than the regular car, and it makes sense honestly that you have this 270 kilometer package, because the regular car, which was limited at 250, even with a normal Golf GTI, hard to say that, but even with a normal Golf GTI, you always or very often came into the limiter at 260 Speedo or something like that. So yeah, it's huge fun driving the car. You've also seen it. The ride felt a bit bumpy probably on the camera, but this is mainly due to the bumps in the Autobahn there. The ride was still very safe at every time. There was never a point that I felt uncomfortable even driving that speed. So therefore I think pretty astonishing performance, good looks from the outside, good sound from the Akrapovic exhaust. So overall a pretty good package.